vacation. Well, another Jim Miller's Garden, um, March 8th of 2026 on a cloudy day. Didn't get enough rain, but maybe later in the week we will. And I'm going to turn the camera around and show everything, my progress this year so far in the garden. Okay, other than these dead plants, that the thyme died in the house over the winter, and the rosemary is probably gonna die. And here's some a plant I brought in. I think this grass looks like it's starting to get green, but this plant here is probably dead. So enough of them. Here's some kind of a succulent type. It's about done blooming already. And here's another plant next to it. But a vine years ago climbed in the pot, so I have to take that in during the winter for this one plant. And this is a Tennessee creeper, and I wrap it around the mailbox, and it climb, in a mixed mailbox looks pretty once the leaves come out. Okay, and here's my transplants, and some of these have been planted since I think it was day after Christmas, and I haven't put. Some of these have been replanted, like these peppers here were planted a week or so ago, and that was from a pepper that we ate, and I took the seeds out, and in that one they grew, and I see some over there, and some of these blank ones I put pepper seed, and there's nothing coming out of them yet. So this could be a pepper or a weed, I don't know. And here's a bunch of tomatoes, and I got a lot of them. I already put 8 in the ground, and I might have to cover them up if it's going to freeze. What's this, about middle of next week? It's going to get cold. And this is, I think it's cabbage, more cabbage, and what is that? I think that's broccoli rabe, and I don't know what that is. It might be broccoli rabe, or it could be Napa cabbage. But this is what happened is I labeled them, and when I put water on these containers, the ink faded out. So it's a guessing game. Okay, and here in these other buckets are purple sweet potatoes. And what I did is I clipped the ends of a vine and I potted them, and they grew. I did that last year too. And the sun's kind of bleached them out. This one's kind of hidden out of the sun, but I'll get those in the ground. I'm going to wait for this forecast to play through. I can easily take them back inside if we're going to get around freezing. And here is this tomato that decided that a seed got in this plant. Well, are you alive? There's just one little leaf there, but that's been getting worse every year. It's a non-blooming plant, and it's probably and I'm thinking of taking this and putting it along a fence and tying it to the fence. And I did a tape job on it. I taped it here to the wall, and then it was bent here, and I taped it to this pole and this stick to support it. It's gotten bleached out from the sun. I mean, it was right inside this door, and it's basically getting similar sunlight, but sunlight through a window must take out some of the sun's power. Here's the old avocado. We've had it for quite a while, 5 or 6 years. It's just something to look at. And here are my pineapples, and they're all, let's see, That one's actually, this one's starting to really grow. This pineapple was the top of this one, which was the top, yeah, the top of this plant. This one put out a pup. So this is the oldest one, and this is the second oldest, and this is the third oldest. And I've gotten 2 pineapples out of the whole thing so far. They're little, but they're tasty. It's fun to look at. It's fun to. Got 2 viewers, and I got the best video in the world. Well, I don't think so, but if you think so, good. That's Sarah Marzo Dominguez. Yeah. And where are you from? Sarah Martos Dominguez. All right. And this one here, this pineapple, I'm waiting for it to, it'll take a while. And it may, like this one here, sprout out from the side. And I don't see a bud on that one yet. So maybe, I looked at my old pictures and this one here budded about April, May of last year. Or I mean this one budded. So this one's got some time to put a bud on and then make a pineapple. So, and here's just another plant. I'd have to take that inside. I got some parsley, and that was out there in front of the house last year. And this is its second year. So this year it'll decide to flower and then die. So but I can still get some parsley out of it before it flowers. And here is a shamrock. It's a little flowering plant. And that's it for these guys. I'm going to the main garden and look at stuff. 6 viewers and 1 thumbs up. And here's my tomatoes that I talked about. I put them in, I think it was March 1st. It's been a week out here. They don't grow much after you put them in for a while because they got the strong sun and they get bleached out. This one's the worst looking one of the group. There's 2 plants there. They're starting to look better. And here we're going down the row. These look good. These are long. I'm trying an experiment with tomatoes this year because this building shades them out about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and they don't get that much sun, but they get morning sun from over there. And I'm gonna have someone cut a branch, that lower branch of that tree there, and even get more sun. And I'm gonna look at see if there's asparagus. A lot of these little weeds coming up. I don't see an asparagus. And here I planted this little stick all down along the fence. I planted some turkey craw beans. Let's see, I think it was Thursday. And they'll take probably about 3-4 days. I've had to start looking for some starting to sprout. It's been pretty warm, so they may pop up. And this next year, I got a single row of potatoes, and this is the hill. Let's see, I think I planted them on March 1st too, along with the tomatoes. Here's some, I planted corn. It's been 8 days. I think I planted them February. 28th. I never planted corn in February before. And none in about 3 or 4 days. If they're not coming up, I'm going to start to get worried, because my peas didn't come up. My first planting of peas, they didn't come up. Here I got sweet onions, a row of sweet onions. I got a lot of onions planted, and they're looking great. When did I put them in? It had to be like the 25th or something of February. And here, this row, there's nothing in it yet. These carrots, and I don't see any of them yet. It's going to be maybe later this week when maybe I can see some. And this here is 2 watching, 2 thumbs up, no more chats. And here I got cabbage, a row of cabbages, seedlings that I put out here. It's getting to be a couple weeks ago. And of course, in this, yeah, this gonna be loaded. Yeah, I can look at all the pumpkins and stuff coming out of this compost pile. And I didn't have enough cabbages, so I put a tomato out, and it's looking good. And that might be a volunteer tomato that I got in my pot and started growing. It was a single, so it might have been a seed I put in or a seed that was just in the soil. So it's going to be a mystery until it gets bigger. And here's another row of cabbages, and this one got some bugs on it, and I sprayed it, and I think I put the end of the bugs for now. And here is the cabbages from last year. Oh, I missed those others. I planted cabbage. I started the seedlings in like July, I think. And this might have been a later batch. This one I'm gonna cut and eat fairly soon. These here look pretty good. They're forming heads, but I think this one here is gonna bolt and bloom, so I might just have to chop it out. That one looks like a head, and those 2 up there are definitely making good heads. So I'm gonna have cabbage to eat pretty soon, and then I'm gonna have more cabbages as these grow up. Actually, there's just too many cabbages I planted, and I got more in the pot, so it's gonna be well, better to have too many, not enough. And here is a row of white onions. I planted these the onions, these onion sets. I planted these on February 14th, and they're looking great. And they're the tallest onions I've ever had at this point in the season. They're barely coming up usually. These have been up for probably well over a week, and it looks like all of them that I put in the ground have come up. And here is my next row is a little disaster that I planted. I never had trouble with peas growing. And what happened here? Oh, well, this one looks sick. There's one growing there, but it doesn't look very healthy. And that's from the previous planting. Well, that one's looking sick too. Maybe it's the soil. I added chicken manure during the winter from the neighbors, and maybe that's going to be a problem where peas aren't going to work in that. But the lettuce has, and I planted this I think on the 13th of February. I mean, 2 weeks after there was snow on the ground, I came out here and put lettuce in, and it's come up good. This is lettuce that I planted from seed. I can see here's that's a baby marigold, and they come up in the garden like weeds, and they're really pretty. I had a bunch last fall that looked good, so I'm not too happy about those 2 peas that are looking sick. They came up and now they're sick. So it's something to do with the soil. But this is a different variety of peas. It's one I've grown a lot over the years, these little marvels. So we'll see if them will come up. If they don't, well, I'm not going to put any more peas in this year. I'll probably throw some corn or something in there. But that's got me concerned about that corn I put over here. If it don't come up, it's too. But this chicken manure was aged out over about a year, and here's some pumpkins or squash. Well, I can see the seeds down in there on top of the soil. So I'm gonna have to transplant them somewhere if I want them. And here are some more cabbages. This one looks like it's gonna bolt. It's not gonna make a cabbage, but this one here looks like it's gonna have a cabbage. And these, I'm not sure yet. And that's the one that the groundhog ate the top out of. So it better do good. Okay, that's the end of the upper garden. Still got a couple viewers. I guess. Okay, here's the water I struggled with, sort of. Some of it was from the kitchen sink, and it rained just a little, just not enough to do anything. And here's some more water. I got every little bit of water so I can sprinkle on stuff that need watering. And it hasn't rained hardly anything for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I didn't get my barrels and stuff out much early enough to collect more water. Okay, now here's these 3 rows of white onions. And these came up first. Some of these right here came up really fast, like a week after they were put in the ground. And they have a lot of chicken manure. This is a big dose of chicken manure. I guess the onions don't care. And here I put in 6 broccoli I got from the nursery, and they about doubled their size. Okay, there's another chat. Someone just said hi. Maria Das Garcia Vazarolic. That's a long name. Vazarolic. Man, I thought my handle was long. Okay, that's good. Keep on chatting. And here's a cabbage. This one looks good. This one looks like it's a Jersey Wakefield. It's got that pointy top. Looks really pretty. And my wife's been eating broccoli and hot pot. And I haven't even told her that I got these. So I may wait until they have a nice broccoli head and bring in the house. And she'll have a broccoli head. And here, this part of the garden here is still blank. As the nursery brings out stuff like peppers and other things, and I'll just start rolling them down through here. I think I'm going to take those purple sweet potatoes and put it down here at the end. And I'm going to put like my 3rd corn. right in here. So I'm going to leave that blank for quite a while. And here, this has only been, what was it? It's under a week. I think last Monday I put in bok choy and Napa cabbage. And I had the crappiest looking Napa cabbage seed. And it came up good. And this is for sure, this is Napa. They look like radish seedlings. And here's more and more and more and more. And then, kind of where I started putting in the bok choy, there's hardly any. There's one, there's two there. There's a few. I don't know. I didn't water on good. Planted them deeper, who knows. But I think I planted the bok choy until it wasn't, I started with the Napa down there somewhere because there wasn't very many seed. But it's odd that there's, all of a sudden, there isn't hardly any seedlings up. But we have a little time for some to grow. But I can take some of these up here and transplant them over and fill this row out. So we'll see. Here's some more white onions, a couple rows. And here's some more sweet onions. I think they're Georgia sweets. They've been eating a lot of onions in hot pots, so I planted more this year. And here are some red sweet onions. I'm trying them out. And they look good. Usually I put the sweet onions in and they get kind of beat up. It's windy, cold. But this year they kind of kept their green and they're starting to grow a little. So you plant them and you leave the tops. See, this is new growth right here. You plant them and you leave the top up out of the ground. With these white onions, I submerge them a good inch or so on the ground, and then they'll come up. They all look about the same now. And here, this big onion is a sweet onion from last year that I missed, and it started growing late last summer, and I left it. So it's going to be definitely the first onion out of the garden this year. He might get real big. I don't know. Okay, here is my earliest planting of potatoes. And I looked this morning. These were put in, it's been probably a good 2 weeks. And they were in the refrigerator, and I got ones in the refrigerator that were shrouded. And I remember this one up here, it's starting to grow. It's starting to emerge from I barely covered the sprouts, and I got one coming out. There's several up here that's got pretty long sprouts, and they should come up pretty soon. Okay, right here I got a bunch of weeds, but I'm waiting for the tomatillos. I planted some tomatillo seed that I gathered the last couple years. I take the tomatillos and I dry them out, and nothing yet. What's it been? It's been over a week. And here I got this, I got a couple blank rows. I'm gonna put more corn in here. And I'm waiting for this to come up. I'm trying to stagger where hopefully this corn comes up and it starts to come up, I'll put in these 2 rows to have them get ripe at different intervals. Last year I had 7 plantings of corn. The 7th wasn't hardly anything, but I did use them. And here is my last. I just put this potatoes in just a few days ago. and it's going to be a while. Let's see. I forgot to show one thing up there. I'll do a review, things I missed. And here's some more cabbages. And all three of these here, they look like they're going to bolt. So all that work for nothing, really. And I don't know what to do with the foliage. If it's, I tried to fry this kind of stuff with sausages, and it's kind of a grassy taste. It's not very good. So I see some robin feathers. I think maybe a kitty got lucky. And I got this one here, cabbage. The groundhogs bit that one off, and it came back, and it looks like it's got a better chance to making a head than those up there. So it's something new. I did that last year, and most of the cabbages. Hey, are these soft? I have this little machine that I take. Oh, good. Those. I take kitchen waste and expired stuff, and I put it in this thing that grinds them up and dries it out. And this one didn't work so good. It came out like hard chunks, so, and I brought it down anyway, but it's softening up. So that's the lower garden. Well, the thing is, I didn't switch to I'm gonna switch to I'm on the Wi-Fi. I've got one viewer. I bet my video quality is crappy. We'll see when I'm done with this. But it hasn't cut out. So I'm going off the Wi-Fi, and I'm gonna switch to cell data. Hope I don't drop out. Well, I'm back. Am I counting? 4 viewers. Well, I got 4 viewers. Is that a better picture? If anybody's watching. Okay, I didn't start. I've done this last year a lot. I had crappy internet coming from the house, no viewers. 1 viewer. Well, I don't think I cut my stream, but I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna walk around and look at this raised bed. And these onions look so good. And it won't be very long, and I'll take some of these leaf mulch and I'll mulch around them to keep the weeds down, keep the moisture in. So I'm very pleased with my onions, my white onions right here. Hey, Robin. Oh, he took off. Let's see. I'll show these beans. I planted some climbing beans. There's the stake right there, a little wooden stake. And I made a little boomerang shaped. And I put in some seed that I got from Mama had some seed, and I got it when she passed away. I got her seed, and I put it in a row, kind of like right here. And one climbed the fence, and I saved some of its seed because it was so productive. One plant would like have a mop bucket full of beans every week or so, and I had beans all that fall. So I kept some seed. I grew some last year. Actually, I didn't the first year. I didn't save any seed, and a couple seeds grew on the up by Volunteer. It was 2 years ago. It climbed the fence like before, and then I saved some seed, and then I planted some over there, and I've had 3 years of that same type of bean. Very productive. It withstands hot summers. It'll last year they kind of quick growing beans, and then it came back and had a little flourish at the end. So I'm growing them again, and so I'm gonna have turkey craws. I'm gonna have two areas of climbing beans. Got 4 viewers. No more chats. Let's see. Yeah, and I had to cover these cabbages numerous times during the winter. And one time, I think there was 16 days, it was under a tarp. It was under these leaves. I put a tarp, and then I put the leaves on top and get them really sheltered from the cold, and they survived. I'm not too happy about some of them wanting to bolt, so I'm gonna have a lot of cabbage, but I'm gonna have plenty of cabbage, but I don't like them when they bolt. They're not worth anything. I got plenty of seed, so if they flower, I just got too much seed anyway from other years. And then my potato row again. And here, I got some blank areas. I'm gonna put the cantaloupes here, and about right here, I'm gonna put zucchini, and then down there, either or, I'll put in some butternut squash, and hopefully there's corn here. And then when the corn's gone, the squash can spread out, and when the potatoes are gone, I'll have this whole area for the vines. So that's the plan. We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm gonna walk around in these volunteer, don't step on anything. Where are those volunteers? These volunteer squash or pumpkins or whatever they are. I'll dig them up. And I like to just stick them over here somewhere. And that's gonna be different. Might put them right there. On this berm here, gosh, look at the weeds. Just a carpet. I don't know what they are. The neighbor has a weedy area up there along the house, and it might be them. They kind of blow down here, and I have some weeds myself, and then they just grow. And I'll weed this, and I'm thinking of putting in hills of corn on this berm. Last couple years have been tomatoes. I'm gonna try corn there, and it does get a massive amount of sun, and I'm gonna see how good it does there. And here's my leaf pile, and I had to move my pile. I had from the neighbors, she had a little area where I don't know if she planted something. There was a bunch of mulch, and I brought it over. I put the leaves on top of it, and then she wanted to shed, and I had to move it from here, and the dirt ended up on top. And then of course there's a massive amount of weeds growing on it. Okay, and then there's places down here I can bring volunteer pumpkins and stuff. So going around, I'm gonna go around and look at the raised bed. I got some onions over there. And I know I'm not gonna lose signal because I switched to cell data. And Sweetwater Creek, and it's really low for March. So we got a bit of a drought here. The locals say it's supposed to rain off and on this week, but last night wasn't very rainy. Got 800s just to get the ground wet. And over here on the other side, to the raised beds. And these are homemade raised beds. And I got some white onions here. I put these little sticks here to keep the squirrels from digging them up, but they still want to dig. They haven't hurt them yet. They don't eat the onions, but they're weeding for me. Let's say they're weeding for me. Well, I put these sticks in to kind of, there's one of these weeds I hate. If I just pull them, they'll come back. You gotta dig deep to get them removed. But these came up pretty good. They came up last because there's not much sun down here, but they look pretty good. And they got they got a foot of very organic soil, dead trees under the soil, branches, just all kinds of stuff. And it's going to be interesting if they get to be the biggest of the onions. That'd be nice. So I took these, I cut some trees down. Oh, I cut this one down here, and I cut part of that one, and I brought the logs over, and I got soil and dead, because they just don't take care of this property. I volunteer myself and take advantage of it, and I mow their lawn, and they don't care, I guess, and then I just get the benefit. I get these raised beds. I'm gonna put potatoes here, my last of the potato planting here, probably this week. And there's some marking spoons, so I don't have to bring spoons over. So I'll plant a couple rows, and it's wider here at the top. I kind of wanted a contour around this big tree, and I widened this out. And I'm thinking of putting like watermelons on, maybe watermelon or a pumpkin, watermelon and a pumpkin hill. And when the potatoes get dug, I can throw the vines back over on top, and hopefully there's no groundhog this year. And here I'm going to put in some of those transplant some tomatoes over here. And I had peppers over here that last year, and they did good. And here's a daffodil. I'm going to have to pick those in a few days. So I'll put about 6 tomatoes. And this soil here is, oh, it's loaded with nutrients. So, and I'm gonna call the tree guy, see what these squirrels do. They like digging. Ooh, that one's rotting out. I had him cut that. That's only been about 3 or 4 years. I'm gonna have the same guy. I had him cut that branch out and get more sun in the garden. And I'm gonna have him go up there and cut that that one right there. I'm gonna have him cut that. It's not. He said $350. Well, it's what I want to do. They buy Amazon stuff. I have trees cut, so I guess I'm getting even. And here I'm gonna go look at this stump I managed to cut off last year. I cut this tree down with a 12-inch little battery operated saw, and I cut around and around, and I used a couple car jacks, and I used the car jacks to push it over. And a couple days ago, I with the same saw, I managed to cut the stump down, and I'm thinking of cutting this in 3 pieces and taking over along with the other raised beds and filling it up with stuff and having another raised bed. And this other tree, I hope I can get that cut down and slice it up too and make another raised bed. But at least I got it cut off. And at first I cut these basically they're roots of the tree. This is a what are they? What is that again? A hackberry tree. I think I counted 36 rings on this. Not very old. But I cut this so I can get the saw in closer, and I cut from this side, and then I cut right like this. The saw would reach across here, and then I cut more here, and then I went back over, and it wasn't a perfect level, but eventually the stump started wobbling, and I got it to a point where it was just sitting on the stump, and it was hard to push over. This thing's probably a couple 100 pounds, but with a cheap $100 chainsaw that I probably shouldn't be even cutting stuff like that, but I did it, and I'm gonna hopefully maybe get that one. But my chain was starting to fall off when I was finishing this up, and I got it fairly tight enough to finish it, but I'm not going to tackle that tree until he comes over, and he's going to drop that big limb up there, and I'm going to hopefully get it cut up. And then if I do get it cut up and the chain still works, I'll work on that other tree, and hopefully I'll get it at least down, make it look nice over here. And all this brush stuff is my doing. I cut all these just trees and just garbage brush. And when I cut that one over there, I dropped it. It knocked a dead branch out of that tree. And I was hoping it was going to hit that tree and break it and do my job. But there's some, that's mallards. The city, I can zoom in good with this phone. Duck's taking a swim. A mallard and some mixes, probably tame duck mixes. And here's this one with the white head. Come on. Oop, I don't know if 2 people are watching this whole damn thing. I hope not. I'm gonna have to go in the house pretty soon, and I got to cut up steak. Gotta zoom this back out. I got steak to cut up, peppers, potatoes. We're gonna have some hot pot. It's like Korean. I guess they describe it as Korean barbecue, and we just take vegetables and meats and put them on this little camp stove type thing and cook it. And then we put like a pot, and we can boil stuff too. And it's really good to eat. And it's fairly cheap to do. It's what we do on weekends. And I happen to have to go in and get the prep for that, start cutting up stuff. I'm starting to get a little bit hungry again. And there's now, the squirrels will leave that stuff alone. That's what the traps are for. And I've been successful with the traps 224 times. And they like sleeping. The squirrels tend to like to sleep in my garden after I take care of them. So if you want a garden, you're just gonna have to get rid of the squirrels. There's that duck down there. Okay, I'm gonna flip around and sign off. In Jim Miller's garden, thanks for watching. It was a nice day to be out. A little cloudy, mild, and thanks for watching. And this is my first video in about a couple months. I just finally had time to do one, and I wanted to do a few more as I started planting, and I'm pretty much over half planting. We think if stuff don't come up, then I'll have to replant. So in Jim Miller's garden, thanks for watching. And if you caught me at the end, you can watch the whole thing at your leisure. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Oh, I was going to turn that off.